What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Legit Whiskey Reviews, and today I'll be reviewing Laphroaig Cairdeas. All right, so I'm back. I'm back for another episode. I actually didn't miss any time, so this episode's coming out right on schedule. I got my smell a little bit after recording that top 5 whiskey video last week, and I'm back to 100%. I feel good. So yeah, here we go. So I'm glad I didn't have to miss any time. But so what we're reviewing today is Laphroaig Cairdeas. This is a cask strength Laphroaig. It's non-age stated, but it is it's a 117.8 proof, so that's 58.9% ABV. This is a triple matured Laphroaig. So this is a matured in ex bourbon barrels, then it is matured in quarter casks, and then for the final maturation is European oak hogsheads. So this is finished in PX sherry casks, which adds another layer to the Laphroaig. And if you guys caught my last video for my top 5 whiskeys of 2021, there's no surprise here, but this made my top whiskey for 2021, and I just hadn't reviewed it. I tried it, I've had it for a while, it's been open for a long time, but I just hadn't reviewed it on the channel. So this is the proper review. I wanted to review it properly, even though I know this is a must buy, but you know, I wanted to review it properly and go through the layers and just go through a proper review on it. As far as this is a single malt Scotch whiskey. This is an Islay Scotch. So Islay is usually known for its peated, more smoky whiskeys, and I go a little bit more in depth as far as Laphroaig and what peat is and stuff like that in my previous review for Laphroaig 10. Now, disclaimer, this is an older video, so the quality is not that great, the sound is not that great, but you guys can check it out on my channel. I go a little bit more in depth as far as Laphroaig 10, but what we're talking about today is this one here. So let's get into it. As far as the color, I mean, I wish I had the Laphroaig 10. I just went through a bottle of Laphroaig 10, but it's like night and day. I mean, the color on this is completely like so dark. It's like a beautiful color, like a reddish hue to it, and I'm sure that's from the sherry cask. But beautiful color on this, super dark. I'm not sure that they added color to this. I think it gets this dark color from the sherry cask, but just beautiful color on here. All right, so let's get into the nose. So I haven't had this in a while, so I really wanted to try this like with a brand new nose, and obviously I'm getting, my smell is back and everything, so everything's like brand new to me again. But the first thing that you're gonna get on the nose is classic Laphroaig. So the smoke is definitely what hits you right away up front. Then you get the salty, you get the saltiness, you get the brine, you get the ashy note, which I know for some people that aren't used to an Islay Scotch probably sounds like really not, you know, something that you would, you know, be into, but it's a beautiful nose. And then weaving through it, and then just over and underneath everything is that sherry influence really comes through on the nose. So it's super fruity, like a dark type fruit, maybe like a raspberry or some type of berry, like a darker berry like that. And then I'm getting some of that like smoked meat, like maybe like a smoked bacon or something like that as well. So just I'm getting like the classic Laphroaig notes, but then just everything is like, you know, layered with like and it's like it has like an extra layer of sweetness over everything else, which just, you know, a perfect balance of like the classic Laphroaig with the sweetness from the sherry. Just a beautiful nose. All right, but let's get into the palate. Cheers. This is so good. So I have to get acclimated to the palate. This is a much higher proof than just regular Laphroaig, but right now on the first sip, I'm getting the classic Laphroaig flavors. I'm getting the smoke is what hits you right away. There's a lot of sweetness going on in here, but I'm getting the salty brine, a little bit of ashiness, and after all that, it finishes with like the smoked meat, but then also that sherry influence. Like I'm getting a ton of fruits on the palate, and then it finishes with a lingering like spicy note. Just beautiful, beautiful on the palate as well. Let's go at it again now that my palate's a little bit acclimated to it. And one thing I'm noticing right now, which I noticed before as well, the longer it just sits in the glass, and you just, you know, for the reviews of for the purpose of the review, I have to go kind of quick. But one thing I noticed, and as it's been sitting here just this little bit of time, I noticed the more you let it sit in the glass, the sweeter it gets, and the more it opens up. It just gets sweeter and sweeter, and just blends in beautifully with all the other notes. So yeah, on this second time, now that I'm going to the nose again, that sweetness from the sherry, the fruity notes that I was picking up is coming more to the forefront on the nose. It just gets better and better the more you just let it sit. All right, here we go again. They just did an amazing job with this. So before the episode, before I started recording here, I kind of Googled what Cairdeas meant. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly because I was kind of curious about it. And it means friendship in Gaelic. So I thought that was interesting. But as far as the palate, this thing just gets sweeter the more you let it sit in the glass. That raspberry, dark berry note that I was picking up is coming more to the forefront as well in the nose and in the palate, while maintaining the classic smoke and you know, the salty brine and the smoked meats in the back of the palate. And I really love how this is finishing. It has a super long finish, but it's also like a spicy finish, which I really love. I love how it has a little bit of everything: the sweetness, the smoke, the smoked meats. It's like a smoked bacon that I'm picking up, and then with the spice at the end. So there's just a lot going on in here. It just really, the more you let it, like I said, the more you take your time with this, just pour yourself a glass and you just let it sit there, the better it gets. I feel like the more it opens up and the better it gets in the glass. It's just beautiful. So I want, since it's Laphroaig, my last review, and just anything that's like an Isla, I like to play with the water just to experiment and see what it does to the whiskey. And this one's no different, especially being a higher proof at cask strength. I want to add some water to this and just see how it changes it. I haven't done this yet as far as this Cairdeas, so this will be interesting because I'm not sure what to expect. So just a little bit of water there. But yeah, so far I've been super impressed with this. You know, from the first day that I opened the bottle up, it didn't have to open up. It was just so much going on, so much. It just pretty much just blew me away because I'm already an Isla Laphroaig fan, but just like the way they spun it with this PX Sherry cask, it just completely changed it and took me on a different, you know, adventure. And I was just like blown away by what was going on in the glass. But all right, now that the water's in here, let's see what happens on the nose. Oh wow, this is really nice. So that sweetness and the fruity notes that were kind of there and starting to come out completely came to the forefront and just completely taken over the nose. I'm sure part of it is that I'm acclimating to the smoke, but I feel like the smoke kind of took a back seat, and now it's just like the fruity sweetness that's really jumping out in the nose. But yeah, I feel like it just depends what you like. I really like it on the nose with the water. It just really just let that smoke like kind of relax a little, and just like the fruit and the sweetness just overtook the nose. I really like it. But let's go to the palate. Wow, this is beautiful. So I must say, this is rare on my channel. There's been a few times, but when I add water to a whiskey and I think it changes it for the better. I feel like this is still good the way it was without the water, but I feel like it just added another layer to it. I feel like to me, I enjoy it with the water. I would say it just depends, but I right now I'm enjoying it with the water more than without the water. So that's what I mean. You just never know. That's why I like to add water to these, because I feel like it changes it, and it just completely like takes you on another, on another path from where you were at. And that's what it did here. I feel like the water actually added to the whiskey instead of like diminishing it. So yeah, either way, I just feel like it prefers if you like your classic Laphroaig flavors with that little, with that extra sweetness, then I would say you just leave it without the water. But if you want that sweetness to jump out and the smoke and the salty brine to kind of take a back seat, then I would say, yeah, add a little bit of water, play with the water and see what it does to it. But I think either way, it's fantastic. I quite enjoy it with the water. So as far as my final score, I'm sure you guys already know this is an A+. This was my whiskey of the year, and for a good reason. I mean, by far this was the whiskey that I enjoyed most last year. And if you guys aren't familiar with peated scotches, I would say maybe try something else first and work your way up to something like this. But as far as all you peat heads out there that enjoy, classic Islay scotches, this is one you must have and at least try, because I feel like it completely blew me away. But if you guys like my content, remember to smash that like button. Remember to subscribe. You guys can catch me on Instagram at LegitWhiskeyReviews, and keep it legit and do it for the love of whiskey. Cheers.